Bob, speak to me.
Hello.
Can we hear him? Thumbs up. Good deal. Excellent. Sounded like batteries went rolling and everything. Okay. When I was a kid, I used to love every summer I'd spend time with my grandparents in Madisonville, and I would talk them into buying me these preseason guides. Oh, you would wait for Athlon and Lindy's. Athlon and Lindy's. So I haven't bought one of these in years. Usually I get Phil Steele's magazines. It's a little more detailed, but I was in the Jacksonville airport this week, and this one just popped out at me. I said, I'll grab it. In it, and I was like, oh, I'll hold on to this and use it. And then the problem is everybody in town already has written about it, talked about it. But Tennessee picked 11th in the SEC by Lindys, and Athlon has Tennessee 10th in the SEC, 10th and 11th. Chuck, you just saw us run through the schedule over here from your perch over there at the other side of the set.
Yes.
When you look at that schedule, is there any way you could see Tennessee finishing 10th or 11th in the SEC?
Well, I mean, I guess you can always see how something would happen, but I think what a lot of people are saying, John, is look who 4 of your conference games are against. 4 of the bottom SEC teams, right? It's top heavy, but you play Mississippi State, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and Arkansas. Those, I think we can agree, are closer to the bottom or at the bottom.
Though Arkansas beat you last year, but yes.
Right. Okay. Last season, the 11th place team in the SEC was a tie. I have down it was Arkansas and Vanderbilt. They went 3-5 in league games. So if you're going to be the 11th place team, your record is probably going to have 3 SEC wins. So I think that was kind of a knee-jerk reaction to the quarterback change, right? Because these articles a lot of times are written several weeks in advance. So, no, I mean, I don't see it happen.
Yeah, I think 7-5 is too much of a drop off overall because if you go 3-5 in the SEC, go 4-0 in non-conference, 7-5, that is quite a drop back.
If you go 3-5 in the SEC, there's a chance you lose to Syracuse too.
That's
you're
true.
that bad. I mean, you could be 6-6.
That's true, but I don't see them even if they're not getting the maximum amount of Joey Aguilar or whoever is the quarterback.
Right.
That's a significant drop off, and part of that is the schedule because, like you said, you're playing 4 of the worst or the bottom half teams in the SEC. If you go 3-5 with that, then that's this roster I think is better than that, and they have better coaching than that.
Bob.
Wow, I guess I got a different take. I thought Lindy's was awfully optimistic. No, I agree. I think Tennessee probably is a minimum 4-win team in the SEC just based on the schedule. I think some of those games could end up being a little iffier as time goes on. We'll find out. But yeah, I think that's a little low based on Chuck's numbers and what you just said too.
Yeah, I think it's low. I think it's unlikely. But I will say this. I don't think this is going to happen, but take a look at Florida State. They went from number 1 team in the country one year to falling off a cliff. Now, that would mean if that happened at Tennessee, I think you're talking about all of the questions we have. I mean, offensive line's a question mark, quarterback's a question mark, receivers are a question mark. I think all of those would have to come up empty.
Yes.
You'd be rolling snake eyes on those. The questions aren't answered the way you want, and I think it would take injuries as well. I think injuries could do that to a team. So it can happen. Look at Florida State.
Right.
But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I'm shocked to see 11.
And there's nothing on Josh
Heupel's
Heupel's coaching background
Correct.
year to year that would indicate there would be a drop-off like that.
Yeah, I mean, his worst year at UCF was was the COVID year, and it's kind of hard to judge anybody on that one. Although we all judge Jeremy Pruitt pretty quick.
Yeah.
I'll let you finish.
I think, with Florida State, they have massive departures in the portal. Tennessee's had a few positions that have been hit harder, but there's still good talent on here. I think a lot of it just depends on that quarterback position. So I think they have some good pieces overall, especially still with potentially a top 10, top 12 defense in the country.